Hello, I'm Amara Rasgus with Consulting Specifying Engineer. I'm here today with Jose Torres. Jose is an associate at RMF Engineering. Since joining RMF in 2001, Jose's career has gravitated toward providing consulting for the healthcare industry. He's developed a passion for designing state-of-the-art facilities positioned to deliver the best patient experience and outcomes. Jose has successfully led design teams for significant award-winning healthcare projects. With a passion for technical excellence and design, he focuses on continually growing his team to provide smarter consulting and solutions to the difficult challenges that clients must overcome. And healthcare buildings are pretty complex. So thank you, Jose, for being here with me today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate your time.
Yeah. So we're going to discuss healthcare facilities a little bit. And the very first and perhaps most obvious question is, what are some smart questions to ask when discussing MEP upgrades within rural hospital facilities? What do you ask the staff?
So our experience here at RMF, especially in the Raleigh office and in the Baltimore office, in the past 3 or 4 years has been rural hospitals. We've had an opportunity to upgrade the mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and fire protection for these rural hospitals. The first question that we really want to ask is, what's the scope of work that you want to complete at the end of this project? Are we replacing the air handling unit? Are we upgrading the chill water system? Are we upgrading the heating water system, emergency power, normal power, oxygen tank farm? And then did you have an opportunity to look at the existing conditions of this equipment, of the system? And then did you have an opportunity to review code? When was the existing system for the facility designed? How many times has it been repaired? What are the headaches with it? What do your staff enjoy working on it? What are things that are no longer available? Those are some of the questions that we typically start asking when we get invited to replace, again, an air handling unit, a chiller system, domestic water system, oxygen tank farm, generators. It's the questions that we start with, because in general, we need to define the true scope of the work. Just because we're replacing the air handling unit doesn't mean that that scope stops at the air handling unit. It could be that we're now making the mechanical room bigger because the unit wasn't code compliant. So those are some of the smart questions you want to ask, because it affects your budget. It affects your design schedule, it affects your construction schedule. It affects what consultants come on board and help your facility be up to code.
Sure. So a lot of things to consider here. So what are some of these top challenges when designing MEP upgrades for rural hospitals?
So in our experience, first is how has the system been operated? Has it been operating for 30 years, 20 years? How has it been maintained? Is it code compliant to today's codes? In a lot of these rural hospitals, first cost was really the only focus 20, 30 years ago. So what are we looking at? We're really looking at the materials. Can the system be upgraded in place to be code compliant? For example, air handling units. Can we replace an air handling unit that serves a patient area? If so, we're going to need temporary cooling, temporary heating, temporary air handler. Or can the area be unoccupied 3-4 months, and so that we can have a shorter construction schedule? We don't need the temporary systems to take care of it. And then the challenges is maintenance. The big main campus healthcare systems have a larger maintenance teams that focus on plumbing, mechanical, med-gas, et cetera. While these small rural hospitals have only a team of 3 or 4 who are jacks of all trades. So we need to make sure that this new generator, new air handling unit, new chiller system is easy to maintain and has some level of redundancy around reliability. I mean, we can't have the air handler fail that serves a patient area if we just replaced it a year, 2 years ago, and not be able, the team be able to maintain, and now you have a service contract for someone who can't be on site for 2 days or it's over the holiday weekend. So the systems have to have some level of reliability, redundancy. And also in those rural areas, the contractor pool that typically goes after these projects aren't experienced on healthcare. So you really are having to reach out and help that rural hospital have a pool of bidders, both mechanical, electrical, plumbing, fire protection, that have healthcare experience, because in an existing facility, you have to follow more codes, more infection prevention procedures than you do on a medical office building, on a church renovation, and a K through 12 renovation. So you need a contractor who has the experience with infection prevention, who understands procedures to coordinate shutdowns, both on the air side, on the power side, on the chill water side, not only with the owner, but with the doctors, with the staff. It takes talent to be able, on the construction side, to be able to face this so that the patient experience doesn't get affected by the renovation.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So why are MEP assessments and facility master plans important for rural hospitals?
Because it allows you to ask those smart questions that I started in the beginning. If you hire a firm such as ours, or so many of the great competitors that we have in this area, what they're going to do, they're going to look at the existing equipment, how long it's been installed, how's it operating. You're going to interview the staff. You're also going to look and confirm that overall the general intent of the system is operating correctly. We're also going to give you feedback on the life of that piece of equipment, be an air handling unit, be a chiller, be a boiler, be a generator. And also we're going to tell you and give you feedback as to when you replace this piece of equipment, there may be a domino effect that now you have to upgrade electrical. You may have to upgrade the dimensions of your mechanical room. You may have to now bring in a structural engineer because the air handler can no longer fit in the mechanical room. You have to go on the roof. We're presently completing a project where the air handling unit at the time was code compliant. At the time, it had all the correct elements that were required in the air handling unit. But now that we bring it up to today's codes, as required by FGI guidelines, as required by NFPA 98, it doesn't fit in that mechanical room. Not only does it not fit, we can't even maintain it if we actually size it the way it should be sized. So our options are now going on the roof. The roof wasn't made to handle a new air handling unit. So now we're inviting a structural engineer to help us complete this project. So a facility assessment is going to allow you to understand that and give you an opportunity to plan for the future, to be able to say, okay, the most critical pieces of equipment are the following, and they need to be replaced in the following manner. So now you can budget accordingly for those replacements that you can plan for, instead of being an emergency when the equipment breaks down.
Okay, so it sounds like you have a ton of experience in this, Jose. Any lessons learned to share from a recent project?
Yeah, with that, I mean, so many, but really the lessons learned is ask questions. If you get invited to replace a generator, understand what the present systems are serving. What is on critical power? What is on life safety? If you get invited to replace an air handling unit, well, first of all, you want to really get a test and balance report to be able to understand what the existing air handling unit is running at. Then you want to be able to size the area served by that air handler to today's codes, both being air changes on the outside air, minimum air changes for the actual room, and then be able to give them some level of redundancy. The most important thing is midway through your design, you really want to sit down with the maintenance team and the owner to review what you're going to design at the end. There's been so many opportunities we've had in these projects in these rural hospitals where the maintenance team has advised us, hey, we don't know how to work this piece of equipment. We prefer this size, this level of detail. We prefer this level of redundancy. Hey, that unit no longer serves this area of the hospital, so it's actually going to be a smaller unit. So you really want to get involved, the people who actually maintain the systems in the hospital, because they'll give an opportunity to own the project, to be able to have a say-so on what they're going to maintain for the next 20 or 30 years. That's really the biggest lesson learned we've had, is invite the people who maintain the equipment, get them to understand how it's going to be designed, how it's going to be operated, so that they can have a buy-in for it, so that they know how it's going to work when we turn over that system.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Jose, so much. Some great insights today.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, and that is all that we have time for today. I've been speaking with Jose Torres from RMF Engineering. Thank you so much and goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you.